Just a small reminder, guys, when you start putting your rows together, you're nine and a half. These should be 9.5. Double check each and every one of them and trim them accordingly. If they're too big, trim them to 9.5. And even double check the ones that you cut to be 9.5, because you could be off just a little bit. So before you start putting your rows together, be sure that all of your squares are 9.5. Okay, tip for you guys. When you are picking up off of the floor or your design board, wherever your quilt is at, your pieces, when you come over here to make sure they're 9.5, you're moving your pieces every which way. Be sure and go back to your pattern. Look at the layout and double check yourself before you sew your seams together. I'm on my 3rd row and I'm looking at the 3rd row going up. And I want to make sure that this is my arrangement. And it's not, it goes this way. Because I trim off the little dog ears and then I true it up to 9.5. So I've moved it a half a dozen times. So go back each and every time before you sew when you're putting your layout together, because you have moved it and rearranged it. Very quickly, I want to show you my error and why a scant 1/4 inch seam is so important. You see on this quilt, I have very sharp, nice points, but I was sewing along, had 3 sides done with my inner border, and I stopped finally and looked, and I was not happy with my points. I mean, that's okay, but it's not okay. I forgot on my machine when I just dove in, and I forgot to move my needle over to the right 1 position. That's how I get a scant 1/4 inch. And I know you think, oh gee, give me a break. That doesn't matter. It really does. When I do this correctly, even if it's just a thread over, look at the difference. Look at the difference. It matters. That scant 1/4 inch. Find it on your machine. It's a thread or 2 less than a 1/4 inch on your measurement tape or stick or yardstick, whatever you have that you measure by. So I ripped it all out, all 3 sides, and I will be sure and do my needle over to the right and do it correctly this time. I'm going to press this and pin it and try again. Okay, another thing I wanted to show you. You know, I have cautioned you about stretching these triangles. Well, I want to just show you. Now, maybe it's not obvious to you. You'll think, oh my gosh, lady, that doesn't make any difference. But right here, this isn't laying real flat. And it is because I have inadvertently stretched this triangle right here, or it could be this one, but I think it's this one. And you know how I could have done it? I could have done it even pressing. When I go back and press, I might fix it, but I might make it even worse. So I am, believe it or not, I'm going to press this seam right here down. It's kind of bulky. And I'm going to press that, but I don't know that I'm going to press right here because I might make it even worse. I know that's probably being very, very picky, but my mother always said, and I try to follow this, if you're going to do something, do it right. And I guess that's been instilled in me, and it's not that I'm a perfectionist, I don't think, but I just want to do things right. And if I'm not satisfied, I have to rip it out. That's just me. Okay, I just wanted to show you that, those two things. Another cool tip. You see how I have my border pinned? Okay, if I turn it over, these are right sides together, but if I turn it over and sew from this side, look how I can be sure and go right across the points. See what I'm saying? Just flip it over when you've got something like this that you need perfection and sew on the wrong side. It does not matter whatsoever. Okay, we have the first border is sewed on. And I just want you to look at the whole point of this video is getting our points right. And I would say my score is probably 95. I have one that's not as crisp, but the rest are okay. I'm satisfied. Now, when we put the next border on, it does not matter what you do. Either put the top and the bottom, which I think is what I'm going to do. Then I will sew my cornerstones to the side pieces and put them on. You can do the sides first. This doesn't matter. This is a square quilt, so it doesn't matter. Okay, everybody. It's not a problem, but this is just what you have to do to get this pattern to fit. On the border, I have one on both sides, and now I'm doing the other two sides. This piece that we cut all four borders the same length, okay? But when you put this on and then put your cornerstone on, it's not going to fit. Don't sew both ends together. I've got the other one on the other end sewn on, but do not put this one on because we have to trim this. And I know you can't see it that far, but you see where my seam line is. I made a finger impression over and over and over so I could really see the seam allowance right there. And then I drew, with my friction pen, a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And I'm going to cut now this off and hold my breath that I've got it calculated correctly. But I have a 1/4 inch extended this away in order to allow for my 1/4 inch seam allowance. So when I cut this right here, this already has the 1/4 inch. If I put this on here, see, it extends a 1/4 inch. So I'm okay with this now. So if I sew these two together right here, it should fit. I will be right back and see if I did correctly. It will have to be done on the other end also. I know that I didn't do it wrong because it doesn't matter which way you go. These are not going to fit on the long width after you put those two side borders on. So I will cut this right on my red line I just drew. I will sew this to this and come back with you and see what we come out with. Alrighty, it's not pressed, but I just wanted to show you my calculations were correct. And if you need to see that again, just run the video back and look at what I did, because it came out perfectly on both ends. That's twisted, you can't really see a good picture of that, but anyway, it's correct on both ends, okay? And that we have to follow the same procedure now to do the top one. So like I said, if you need to see that again, go back and review it before you put that border on with the corner block on it. Thank you. Well, guys, I'm out of breath. I've been crawling on the floor. It's finished, put together, the top is. Isn't that just gorgeous? I'm so pleased. And it worked out the way I cut that border and fitted the corner blocks to it. So it worked out like a charm. And I'm ready to sandwich it together and put the quilting in. I don't know how I'm going to quilt it. I want to use a decorative stitch on it, but I don't know exactly what. So that's up for grabs. But thank you. So I just hope you'll make this. I'm telling you, simple, except for having to figure out a little math and do, you know, make things fit. But it was so easy and so much fun. Thank you. God bless, and thanks for watching Nickel and Dime Decor.